Okay, so I think it is time to expand the fleet. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here. It's nice and early, end of May 2020. So I'm gonna, before I forget, go ahead and link a video here where we talked a little bit about how we're raising our new round of egg-laying chickens here on the newly establishing pasture here on the farm. So in that video, we showed you how we set up the John Siskovich tractor specifically for egg-laying chickens. At this point, the only real major difference between the design itself and this particular tractor is the roosting bars. And you'll see we got a couple of the hens up on those roosting bars back there now, if you can make it out. If not, as Lori slides in, one of the things that you'll notice really quickly when it comes to your egg layers, and any chicken for that matter, is 2 months in, they're really well grown. So stocking density for these tractors. Now, if we were raising meat chickens, which we do, usually fall through winter, the stocking density can be much higher than we would want for our egg layers. Now, obviously, these girls right now are real curious as to what I'm doing up here, so they're up here to say hello. Hey there. But they're really getting kind of crammed, and it's getting very, very hot here in Arizona. So what we need to do at this point is essentially narrow this herd down by half. So we're going to cut this flock in half and double up on the pasture as far as how we have manure going onto it. So what we need to do is we need to duplicate this tractor. Luckily, we've already done that. So right there is an unused tractor that we're gonna go ahead and get fired up and set up so that we can get these guys cut in half. Not physically, numbers. Okay, so we got that done. One note, I said it in that other video as well, this is a 10 by 12 tarp, so it's a little short, which is fine. We want to have that airflow through there for these girls right now. Typically, we would have a 10 by 14 tarp there, would cover it completely, just to make sure that there's not a whole lot of rain going in the middle of winter when we're raising our chickens. Either way, this works out fine. That's ready to go. So of course, now what we need to do is we need to move this other tractor, get it even with this before we split those girls into two different tractors. So we're gonna go ahead and move this forward so we can get those girls moved. Okay, so like that, the chicken chasing is done, and we have these girls split. So try to keep them as even as possible. We have 3 different breeds. We've got a Barred Rock, we have a Rhode Island Red, and we have a Delaware. And I'm trying to even them out as best I can. So I think we did pretty good. Either way, we got water in there now. We're actually gonna use larger feeders for their food, so we're waiting for those to dry out before we drop their feed back into there. But you can see they're already pecking away and ready to go. Plenty of roosting space in there for them. One other thing, we're in monsoon season, so you'll see that I have some bricks lined up. I need to get a couple more. I want to add some weight to these tractors because we did find, in fact, one day we had a small dust devil come through, pick up the back end of one of these and just slide it. So with no grass there to kind of help keep those things from sliding around, I'm adding some weight to these just to make sure that we don't have them blowing away. We want our chickens. So one other thing I want to show you guys real quick is what it looks like behind these tractors. We do keep them on this one section of pasture for an extended period of time, for about a week right now. And we'll keep an eye on that because they will start to put more manure down as they get bigger. But we've got some nitrogen and some manure going down on the yet to be established pasture. So I want to take a look at that behind these tractors here real quick. Okay, so here we are at the back of the chicken tractors. You can see what's left behind. Really nothing. It's a barren landscape, except there's a tremendous amount of manure. So we have a lot of chicken manure, just raw chicken manure here on the ground. You can see they consume everything as far as any type of plant or weed, and then they leave behind their manure. So now, of course, we did run this first set of tractor down this side here. Obviously, I couldn't run it up against the coop and run, which is what I would have preferred. However, we are watering that with the plant starts that you'll see back there. So now what we do is we actually take this, and I will water this in nice and heavy. I want to have this break down as much as possible. If you see here, there's large pieces of chicken manure here, and as we slide back, and we look at what it was just a week ago, you can see the difference here where I watered it in just after we moved the tractor. So much smaller crumbles of that manure. Now, of course, we still haven't decided yet for sure what we're gonna do as far as getting this pasture established. I definitely have some ideas. I may run a test or two just to see what works best as far as cover crops and some of these other things. However, my goal is to get these chickens moved through this whole area in here so that we're able to come back and seed with a pasture mix here in the fall and actually start running our broiler chickens across this 6,000 square feet or so. Either way, I do know this. I have manure on the ground, which means I have nitrogen building into the ground now. So whether we decide to till it, do a no-till, or lay wood chips or some other type of mulch on top, we've got a pretty good base that we'll be able to start with as far as nitrogen. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with that link, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Okay, so here we are at the back of the pasture. So we started this tractor a little further away from the coop and run area, mainly because...
Sorry, you said back of the pasture. Did you want to say that, or back of the chicken tractor?
Chicken tractors, yes. I always want to say pasture. Not orchard, not chicken tractor, pasture. I'm focused on pasture.